One more thing I want to ask you about. So I know that, and this is a key point for sure for our audience, is that, of course, if they're engaged in sport, they are taking care of their physical health. They are active, hopefully, like active, healthy people. They're doing well physically. But HealthKey does also like talk about mental health. There are services relating to mental health, and that I think is going to be a wonderful addition for our community. Do you want to talk a little bit around those services, mental health related?
Yeah, I think it's a really important aspect, and it's one that is often maybe a little bit forgotten, or it's harder to talk about, it's harder to address, where particularly in physical environments, we can talk about physiotherapy because you get injured, or you could people talk about sort of biohacking and do blood tests and learn what your body is. But I think there's a really positive trend that we are seeing mental health be much more at the forefront now than what it has previously. And I think it's a realization across the board people have that mental health is as important as our physical health. It maybe often be a bit more forgotten, but it impacts every part of our lives. And I think the link in with sports and exercise is great because it's also flows the other way, and that one of the best things you can do for mental health often is more movements, whether sports or exercise of different kinds. But as we can see, um, there's a negative spiral. If your mental health is hurting, it's harder to get outside and meet people for a game, and then it hurts even more. And so we try and look at mental health at different stages and how we can support people in different ways, whether that's just content to learn more, see that you're not alone, whether it's access to therapy or counseling. And that could be sort of structured. You meet the same person multiple times. It's a full pathway. It could be as simple as hotlines. You can call someone, or you can text an expert. And I think it's about trying to break down the some of those stigma barriers that are still there, but also making, I think this is really what we see when we talk about making access easy, is one of the things that's very clear is if there's a lot of roadblocks for people to access help, they are less likely to do it. It's very simple, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a big, whether that is, whether that's, it's hard to get the access, whether it's too expensive, whether people feel like they need to borrow their soul too much, it's a too big step. Making it simpler and easier in any way that we can, um, increase the number of people that do it. And we know that there are more people that need mental health support than they're getting it. Interestingly, the same thing goes for other health areas. When we talk about that friction, we've seen that people are a lot more likely to talk to any kind of clinician, whether it's a general practitioner or a mental health specialist, if you make it possible to do it in multiple ways. So that could be video calls, phone calls, but also texting. Seeing it's increasingly popular way of engaging with clinicians. Is again, we're trying to find out uh, how people engage with other things in their lives. What's their preferred form of communication, and you could really see that meeting that need of how are people used to doing things, how are they more likely to do it, then makes it more likely that they will take up that offer of support. Mental health is as wide and diverse a set of things that physical health. So it's about, so try to think of it as a lot of different things that you support in a lot of different ways with a lot of different experts. Um, but because it's stigmatized and because it is something that's not traditionally easy, there's an extra focus on how do we make it super accessible and feel really comfortable to get out.